But now I have it from a place that I am a conscious creator. I will not let anyone take my power away, nor will I ever give it away again.
Hi, I'm Angelique Letizia, a writer, director, and creator of the Call Cut Method. It's a tool to shift your frequency, rewrite your inner script, and realign you with the energy of your highest potential. This podcast is your behind-the-scenes pass to alchemizing that energy. So if you're ready to interrupt the script, reclaim your power, and write your story that you were actually born to live, you're in the right place.
Hi friends, welcome back to Call Cut with Angelique. I'm Angelique, and today we are going to talk about the manifestation paradox. Manifestation seems to be this buzzword that is buzzing all over the internet, all over social, where people are telling you to buy their books and their courses, etc., and they're going to teach you how to manifest the life of your dreams. And there are many of these courses and books that are right on the money, and they can absolutely help you align with your highest potential. However, there are things we need to understand about our energy and our energy centers before we can align with our highest potential. This is super important because if you are not aware of any bloodline entanglements, reversals, distortions, or negative feedback loops that are running stories in your subconscious mind, contrary to the belief that would align you with your highest potential, you are going to find yourself stuck. And it's going to be really difficult for you to get to this level when you're vibrating at this level, or I should say your understanding is at this level. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. As a child, I was able to manifest anything that I thought. It was really cool, and I just assumed everyone could do it. I would think about something that I really, really wanted, and I would get it. And this was something that I could do over and over and over again. It was a repeatable thing. And I never really took it for granted. And there were definitely times when things didn't work out the way that I thought. But for the most part, I could imagine something, and I knew that if I put all my focus and all my energy on that thing, I could bring it into my field in the way that I had imagined. And I would get really good at this. I was really, really masterful at making this happen. I can tell you that I did it with ballroom dancing. I thought, I want to be a ballroom dancer. I want to dance like that. And I remember watching this woman dance and thinking, I want to do the same thing. I want to go to the dance studios and I want to teach dance and I want to go to competitions and I want to dance like that. And I did. And I would see it in my head. And I remember I would go for long walks around the cul-de-sac in my house, near my home. And I would visualize myself dancing. I would visualize myself on stage. I would visualize myself at the competitions. And I had such a vivid image of it. And I would play it over and over and over and over again in my mind. And this was something I would do consistently with no interruption. And slowly but surely, I would manifest all of that. And I was great at this. I mean, great. Until I hit 23 years old. Now, before that, I was living with my mother and my stepfather. My biological father had abandoned us, ran off with another family, and decided to go play house with another woman and her daughter, and completely disappeared. In that time, my biological father was gone. My stepfather was my father. And my stepfather's a very good man. He is a kind man. He came onto the scene. He really took care of us as though we were his own. And he gave us confidence and he instilled a lot of really positive behaviors in me and my brother. And he was a good role model. And we had that as opposed to my biological father, who was, on the borderline of batshit crazy. In 2003, my biological father comes back. And when he comes back into my life, something shifts. Where I was this independent woman and I had my own thing going on and I was working at these dance studios and I would buy my own car and I had my own apartment and I had done this since I was 18. I was woman, hear me roar. I started working when I was 14. I had jobs babysitting. I bought my first car. I did all of that on my own. I didn't have anything handed to me. All of a sudden, my father comes back into my life, and my father's a very wealthy man, and he had capabilities to do things for me that no one else had ever done. And that carrot was dangled in front of my face, and all of a sudden, I was on a different trajectory. The whole time, my intuition was telling me you need to be careful because you may not be safe in this situation. I didn't think about it. I just went full in because there is something about biological children and their biological parents, and we do want to know who they are. We are interested in that. And so we will try to have a relationship in some cases. This is not everyone. That being said, I started to notice over time, not right away, that I no longer had the ability to manifest things in the same way. And it was strange because on the surface, nothing really changed. I was the same exact person going after dreams and trying to implement the same exact thing over and over. And I couldn't figure out, why is this not working? I don't understand. Why can't I manifest anything anymore? Why is it like it's not working for me? For years, I watched things that I would focus on go to other people. I would tell certain people about my aspirations or my dreams, and I would watch those things disappear. They would absolutely fall apart. And I thought, what is going on? I have never experienced this before. I've always been super lucky. I've always been somebody that really went after something and got it. And now I'm finding that the opposite is true. So, what I didn't realize was the meeting of my biological father opened up an old wound. But by opening up the wound, a couple of different things happened. My biological father became the person who was now in charge of my life. He was the one that was paying for my apartment. He bought me the cars. He was taking me on shopping sprees. So where I went from a storyline of empowerment is now suddenly this storyline is about giving my power over to somebody else. Another thing that was happening that I didn't actually realize was bloodline entanglements. Now, a bloodline entanglement is something in your family history, an abandonment story, a betrayal story, abuse, you name it. These stories can be triggered. And when they're triggered, they start to unravel you. And all of these things that made you you start to reverse. The other part of this was my father's a narcissist, and a narcissist can get right up into your sphere, try to take control of your life, try to direct your life so that they're a part of it. He wanted to be directly responsible for my success. And if he wasn't directly responsible for my success, then he would get to say, well, sorry, your dreams didn't come true, which he actually did say to me at some point. What people like that do is they start to create doubt. And when doubt steps in and you are no longer having champions saying, yeah, you could do it. Yeah, you got this. Now you have a person who has hurt you badly. You haven't really healed that wound. Now the story is coming out. You're trying to figure out how you're going to navigate this person because you love them, but on some huge level, you don't trust them. And yet you're giving them all your power. And so now you're sitting here saying to yourself, what is going on? I can't get anything to go forward in my life. No, you cannot, because you are caught in a reversal. You are caught in a distortion. You are caught in something that has you stuck. And people who were very close to me at that time will tell me now, all you kept saying to me was, I feel trapped in my life. I feel trapped in my life. And I did feel trapped in my life because everything around me was trapping me into being reliant upon somebody I didn't trust. And when I put myself into that position, I lost the most important thing, which was my confidence and the belief that I was responsible for the life I wanted to live. This directly affected my ability to manifest the life I wanted, because now the belief was different. Now I was aligning with these lower vibrational energies of fear, abandonment, waiting for the shoe to fall, waiting for it to happen again, thinking that this person was going to hurt me again, being dragged into their dramas, being dragged into other dramas with family members. I didn't have time and I didn't have energy to focus on myself. I was constantly bleeding out my energy. I was constantly leaking it everywhere. I had absolutely no control over it. And then I began to have the panic anxiety. So many of us look at panic anxiety as a curse, but it is not a curse. Panic anxiety serves a purpose. And I truly believe, and this is my belief, take what resonates and leave the rest. I believe we have panic anxiety to tell us, hello, warning, warning, you have gone off the path. You have gone far away from yourself, from your core, from your person. You've got to get back. It's not easy to get your power back when you have given it away. A lot of the time, we don't even realize that we've done this. Now, why I bring this up is because so many people come to me and say, I just want to live this life that I know I meant to live. I have these dreams, I have these aspirations, and I just feel like I'm so far away from that life. No, you are not far away from that life. You are closer than you think because you are in a space where you recognize that something is off. You've bought all of these books, you've gone to these courses, and you watch these courses work for other people, but it doesn't work for you and you can't figure out why. And it's not because you're not going to get what you want in this life. Believe me, the seed is planted by the divine in you because you are the person who has chosen to bring it to reality. You don't have a dream for no reason. It is a potentiality. It is something that you can bring into the physical space. However, you have to have enough energy to do that. Okay, friends? The third dimension is not a dimension of instant manifestation where you think something and it instantly appears. That is the fifth dimension. We need action behind our manifestations in order to bring them into reality. And if you have depression, anxiety, you're dealing with familial drama, you're dealing with trauma, you are leaking energy and you don't have enough of it to put that action into a focused intention, which will bring that manifestation into reality. And we also have to understand that there's different levels of energy that are needed for different creations. If you want a cup of tea, for example, and you're over here craving this tea that maybe is at the special coffee shop that you'd have to go to Kingdom Come to get, and you kind of hyper focused on it, and all of a sudden a friend calls and says, hey, I'm at this coffee shop. I was thinking of you. Do you want me to get you anything? Oof, oof, et voila. That little bit of focused intention brought that tea your way. Those kind of mini manifestations can happen all the time, and they should. You should practice those because it strengthens your muscle, your intention, and your focus. However, you want something bigger, that house that you're looking for, or that Maserati, as a friend of mine said. I want a Maserati. I said, that's amazing, as he sits on the couch playing video games and doesn't have a job. I said, how do you intend to get the Maserati here? And he said, well, I put it on a vision board and I've been doing affirmations and, and I said, yeah, that's awesome. Robotic affirmations are great. Affirmations are great. Yeah, these things absolutely work. But what is the action that you are putting behind it? Because you need to do that. You need to put the energy in motion. And that can be anything, going to networking events, meeting different people, putting yourself out on social media, building your own brand, going to a course to learn something about building your own brand, etc. There's a lot you can do to put action behind your dream. Universe doesn't care what that is. You don't need to go get a 9-to-5 job, but you need to work, right? You need to put your energy into it. You want to be a singer, you need to practice singing. You need to put yourself in places where you can do that. You want to be an actor, same thing. A writer, you have to write. What have you written? Sitting on a couch or sitting somewhere and saying, well, I really want to be a writer. That's awesome, but you have to write. So I think you kind of understand where I'm going with this. Manifestation is not just about hoping and wishing and praying, it's about doing and acting and believing and keeping that focused intention. But if you have these things lingering in the background, as I did, that becomes harder to hyper focus and to have your confidence, and your belief system takes energy. If your belief system is being attacked because you're in a toxic situation, if you're surrounded by people who are planting seeds of doubt, if you're constantly in a perfect storm of negativity where you feel like it's one step forward and 6 steps back, it is way harder to get yourself into alignment with the thing that you really want and to really focus that energy, because now your energy is scattered and you feel scattered. You feel like you can't focus. That's also what narcissists do. Narcissists are really, really good at making you kind of crazy so that you never really can focus your energy on one thing. You're scattered, you're exhausted, you're depressed, you're tired. You don't want to face the day. You just, you barely have enough energy to get up and do what you have to do to survive, nonetheless thrive. So how do we call cut on these narratives? How do we even know we have them? Well, the first thing we have to do is look at our surroundings. Who are your friends? Who are the people that you are interacting with every day? Are they people who uplift you? Are they people who are really pushing you forward? Or are they people who are passive aggressive? Or are they people who are parasitic, using you, glomming on you? Are they people who are complimentary, or are they people who are competitive? Are they people who really have your back, or are they people who run at the slightest turn of the wind? These are things you have to look at, because how you're interacting with people is where you're leaking your energy. And if there's no energy exchange that is lifting you up, that is helping you get to the next level, you are always going to be bleeding out energy. And if you're consistently bleeding out energy through people pleasing and overgiving, then you're not seeing the full picture of what you could be doing, what your potential is, because it's being scattered everywhere else. So we call cut on the idea that we have to be focusing our energy on other people all the time. Now, obviously, if we have families and, we're parents and we're taking care of somebody, yes, we take care of that person, but we need to learn how to balance. We also need to see if there are any bloodline entanglements or distortions in our energy fields. Is there a belief system that says you're not good enough? Because a not good enough or undeserving belief system will negate any action that you take to do something positive for you, because in the background, you are running a script that you are not deserving of it. And even if you get a small little thing, you won't hold on to it. And we want you to have lasting success. And by the way, folks, success doesn't mean that every single person in the world has to be a multimillionaire living in a big mansion with these great cars. And that is not the definition of success for every person. Find what the definition of success means to you. Tune out the noise. Forget the media. Forget what the world tells you you're supposed to be. Go out there and you tell the world who the hell you are. You can have tons of money in the bank and live in an apartment. You can drive a modest car. You cannot drive a car at all and ride a bike. Whatever you want to do, no one is judging you. You go out in the world and you become that person. You bring that manifestation into this world. But know that it has to be in alignment with your spirit, with what you came here to do. This is why calling cut on these old narratives gets you really clear. When you start to cut out all the superfluous garbage that's in your mind, all of the desperation stories, all of the I'm not good enough stories, all of the stories that are holding you back, you start to create new stories. And when those new stories are written, you start to see the world in a very different way. You stop seeing life as happening to you and you start seeing life as happening for you. You begin to call cut, and every moment something is not looking the right way or feeling the right way, you could call cut on it and stop yourself in real time. All of these things that we do to try to heal ourselves, whether it's therapy or taking courses or trying to read books or anything people do to try to help themselves to heal, these things are beneficial. But they need to have consistency. And consistency can be hard when you're going to therapy once a week, because once a week is amazing, but that one time is the one time that you're really looking at all of this. With Call Cut, we're looking at it all the time. We're looking at it when we're having a conversation, and we become conscious creators. We start to really listen to people. We don't listen to people with the intent to talk. We listen to them with the intent to hear. We are actually taking in information and figuring out, is this information for my best interest or isn't it? We are looking at different things, not from desperation. We are looking at things from alignment. Is this good for me? And we continuously call cut on those storylines until we can rewire the brain to think differently. We are here to master our energy. What we think is what we create. You are far more powerful than you believe. You can absolutely have the life that you want. So do not get down on yourself when you hear these people talking about manifest this overnight and it's not working for you. Trust me when I tell you there are other energetic components that are blocking, and all that needs to happen is the block needs to be lifted. And whether you work with me or you work with someone else to lift those blocks, doesn't matter. Just as long as you understand there is nothing wrong with you, you are not somehow forsaken or overlooked. The universe loves you just as much as they love everyone else. All you have to do is rewrite that story and remember that our stories are shaped by the traumas and dramas and the childhood memories and things that we have taken through lifetimes into our DNA. Things we know about, things we don't know about, things that are seen and things that are unseen. Once we have gone through all of it and we have really fleshed it all out, we will find exactly what we want to do with our life. We will look at life differently. We will look at our friendships differently, our relationships. We will start to feel our power come back. We will start to feel so empowered that we know we can trust ourselves to make the right decision no matter what that is. And I will tell you, as I've said before, we have a polarity paradox going on in the third dimension. We live in a duality. So remember that when things go pear-shaped and they're not so great, it doesn't mean it's inherently bad. There is a lot of good to be gleaned from a negative situation. Positive situations are not the only ones that give you a positive lesson. You will also find the positive in the negative. You will also find the negative in the positive. So remember, this is a balance game. This is a discernment game. This is a mastering of your energy, of understanding how to ride that middle wave, whether things are super great or they're in the dip and they're not so great. You ride that wave. And when you learn to ride that wave, you will once again get that power to bring into reality anything and everything that you want, because you will understand how to correctly align with it. I had to get that power back, and it was not easy. I went through the dark night of the soul. I walked through the valley of the shadow of death. I have been through hell and back to get my power back. And I got it. And I have it. But now I have it from a place that I am a conscious creator. I will not let anyone take my power away, nor will I ever give it away again. That is what I want for you. And that is what I know you will be able to do too. So remember, do not be hard on yourself if right now you feel stuck, if right now you feel like things aren't going well, or you've been trying to get something new into your life and it's not quite happening. It's okay. Time is a mystery, but timing is everything. And not everything comes exactly when we want it. There has to be a lot of other things that align for us before that opportunity can come. Put action behind your dreams. Believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. Go do the work. Take out those old storylines. Start rewriting that story in the most powerful, beautiful way you can imagine, and get out in the world and show the world what you've got. You are a beautiful, brilliant star, and you are meant to shine. Don't let anything, especially your own mind, get in your way. Thank you so much for joining me on Call Cut with Angelique. New episodes drop every Friday. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, share with your friends. And remember, folks, no matter what life gives you, you must always keep shining.